morning, everyone, and welcome to our first lesson for our first assignment. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the camera there. There we go. So for your first lesson, you are going to construct. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our very first lesson for our lesson 1, What is Power? So what I want to do is give you some tips in regards to creating your mind map. That way you know what I'm looking for and you know how much detail to put in. Remember that for our lesson 1, you are creating a structured paragraph. Now with the structured paragraph, we're looking to hand in our mind map as well as our paragraph template because at an 11C level, we're looking for a very structured way of writing, the idea of forming an opinion and supporting that opinion effectively. So very, very important that our mind map, which is all of our rough work, is as detailed as possible, and I want to help you with that. So the question, we have some videos, is the idea of what is power, and we transition very nicely from what is power to bias in the news for lesson 2. So we kind of draw and make those connections. So for now, let's talk about the concept of power. Now, I think it's a pretty big question, right? It's a pretty big concept of what is power. So when you have your mind map, it's kind of like, where do I even begin? Power can be in so many different ways, and you're absolutely right. So what I have here, hopefully you can see that okay. So what I want you to think about is, what is power? I want you to think about politics. I want you to think about society. I want you to think about the power in your life. So in terms of politics, there's so much going on right now, both in the United States as well as in Canada. We have a lot of transition. We have topics of climate change. We have topics of, oh my goodness, presidency, which we know we can say so many things. We have the topic of immigration. We have the concept of war. The idea of power. Who holds that power? Who's making these decisions? Are we being consulted? Think about power that way. Then we go into the idea of society, thinking about your own community, the concept of power. Where is your role in that? Do you have a role? Then we go into the idea of your personal life. Think about people of power in your life. Friends, family, acquaintances, who has power and influence in your life. And in your mind map, I want you to have all of these bubbles and these kind of topics about where power is every day. And then from there, try and get a little bit more on the personal side, in the sense, when have you been in power yourself? And of course, in mind maps, we're always having those examples, really, really important, right? So the idea of, give me an example of when you've been in a position of power. How did you feel? What happened? And then I want you to think about a time when you've actually been stripped of power. How did that make you feel? What was the situation? What happened? What was the result and the consequence of that? So I'm hoping that these types of questions and this kind of concept kind of helps you get started in your mind mapping. And remember, you can never be too detailed in your mind mapping. The more examples, the more rough work you show, not only will your mark be 10 times better, but the transition into writing your paragraph will be 10 times easier because you have so much information. So remember, I'm looking for originality. I don't want you to Wikipedia or Google what is power. I can do that myself, right? I'm interested to know what power is to you. How do you define power? So make sure that you have that angle in there. Of course, you can consult the internet, but I'm still looking from your specific perspective. And remember that all of our paragraphs go through Turnitin.com just to make sure that we're not repeating each other's work and that we're sticking to our original thoughts, our original ideas, and you should be awarded and credited for that. So I hope this is helpful, and if you guys need any further help, just let me know.